Hello and welcome. In this particular tutorial, I'm about to teach you how you can create videos that are extremely special. These are somewhat of fictional documentaries, and up recently, they have been doing extremely viral on YouTube for some reason. And now, the thing is, with YouTube and YouTube videos and content, we don't care about the reason as to why some content is viral. What you need to start caring about more is that okay, it's viral, it's working. There's a few people doing it. It's getting them a lot of money. They're earning a bunch of money from it. We should do it as well, right? Do we know how to do it? Well, that's my purpose is to go out there and to teach you how to do it. Now, of course, it's not easy, right, to do this by your own, which is why I'm going to show you how to do this. And let's get to it. I hate to just be pretty much, um, you know, kind of keep talking like this. So I need to show you some examples. All right. So here we have this channel. This is just an example of a successful channel. By the way, do not look at the amount of subscribers. That's a big mistake that so many people make. Okay. So they look at the amount of subscribers and then they just disregard the channel. They think, all right, so this is not a successful channel. It's not a good channel. I don't like it. All right. And so therefore they disregard it. But that's a complete mistake. So what you need to do is need to look at the views and not just any views. You need to look at the views coming from normal long form videos over 8 minutes. If a video is over 8 minutes, then they're going to get paid a decent amount. So from a 6.2 million views video in the entertainment space, so we could go, how much can someone earn from a video that got 6.2 million views, video over 8 minutes. And of course, here we're gonna get a bunch of okay. So over 8 minutes. Now they're saying 6,200, but I would say much more. You'd at least get like $4 in terms of CPM here. So that would be over 20K. I would say over 20K is pretty easy, pretty achievable. All right. And that's because the video is over 8 minutes. And in my case, for videos that are 2 minutes, 3 minutes long, you get paid 1.5, $2 at most. But for videos that are longer than that, you get paid a pretty nice CPM. So let's say that he earned $20,000 from a video with 6.2 million views, and that basically was mostly created using AI. Now, as you can see, here are the videos, and as I said, only care about the videos that pretty much the long form videos that got the views. You can see he's trying to keep his videos at 8 minutes, over 8 minutes, and that's not by accident. It's because if the video is over 8 minutes, then YouTube will be able to play advertisements twice, minimum twice. They can play it more, but if YouTube plays advertisements twice, you can expect to get paid double. If your video is 2 minutes or 3 minutes, sometimes they don't even play advertisements on those videos. And so therefore, when you look at the CPM, you're going to see a very low CPM, and you're going to think to yourself, is it just me, or I'm cursed? What is this? Why is YouTube paying me so low? I was expecting YouTube to be kind of like a solid income, and it is. It is a solid way to earn, but you have to know the rules of the game. The rules of the game is for very short videos. You're not going to get paid anything, and that's the reason why shorts. As much as I like shorts, and I've made almost 1,000 short just in this past couple of 3 or 4 months, and I have a team, and I'm doing this pretty much. I'm creating. I'm a creator, but I'll tell you, for shorts, it's actually the income is considerably lower than normal videos. So to put this in perspective, this guy with the 6.2 million views from a video like that, this fake AI video, is going to earn, if we want to do the math, is going to earn about at least 100 times more than someone with 6.2 million views on a short. With 6.2 million views on a short, you can expect to get anywhere between like 400, $500 to over maybe 600, $700. Okay, you can get to $1,000 if you're lucky, if the CPM is higher for that video specifically, but you shouldn't expect to get paid a lot more than that. Okay, but as for this long form video, just because it's long form, you can get about like 20K. Even I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 30K. All right, I wouldn't be surprised because this is a very good niche. It's the entertainment niche, and it could be classified as also as the animal niche, animals and pets, and that kind of niche is very profitable, due to its the audience that watches it are mostly, they can pretty much purchase things, and YouTube only judges an audience based off of the purchase power. But now enough of this, pretty much of this. Here, this is the first channel. Now here is another example of a channel. This one is far more successful, and they've released far more videos. And the reason why they've released far more videos is because they've been printing money. That's the reason. This channel has about 149 million views. If we want to, we want to get an idea as to how much the income potential would be, I'd guess it would be like maybe $300,000 minimum or more. I wouldn't be surprised if it's all, half a million or something, because most of their videos are long form. All right, and let me see. I wouldn't go and judge this and say it's half a million, because I'm not sure if they're focusing on shorts as well. You can see that they have quite a diverse video formats out there. I don't know how many shorts they've created, but it seems that they've created a lot of shorts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this video in half. So I'm going to say that they're probably made like 50 or 60 million views from long form videos. From that alone, that would exceed the 100K. Okay, so they're printing money. These guys are definitely printing money, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that they have stopped posting short videos, or short form videos. I'd guess they would have. But as you can see, this is a very profitable niche. And here we have another example of this type of niche. Again, do not look at the amount of subscribers, because even at 8,600 subscribers, this is a 2.2 million views video, which could have earned him anywhere between 2K to $8,000. All right. So he could have very much earned $8,000 from this video. So to look at a person's subscribers is not something I would do, you know, is not something I would do and say, oh, well, um, I don't like that he only has like 8,000 subscribers. But like I said, what I would look at is I look at their most profitable video, the one that got the most views. And, I would say, okay, well, this is worth it. This is a niche that is worth it. Now you can see that this video is absolutely like that one that kind of blew up, but that goes to show you that usually 20% of the effort leads to 80% of the results. So sometimes some people get lucky, and the more you work, the luckier you get. Because if you're following a schedule of posting one video a day, if you do it for a month, you may not make anything, but there might be like a one time where you strike gold and you have a huge luck, like with this guy, and you might end up with a video that is kind of like goes viral. For me, a 2.2 million views on a video, on a long form video, is actually pretty viral. Now, in order to be able to achieve this type of content, first of all, what is this type of content? Okay, so we'll watch just small pieces here. Now, here, this guy, he's trying to replicate Titanic, like kind of like make it seem like, we're going through the Titanic, pretty much, and we're to give people like a glimpse on how. But this is not real. This is AI. Okay, so this is absolutely AI. It's not real, right? I mean, you're not gonna find this, but you can create videos like this that look very convincing. Okay, you can create videos that look extremely real. It's absolutely possible. It's not like I'm not capable of doing this. I'm more than capable of doing stuff like this. All right. And because I've been using these tools for the past 4 years, and so I know how to do this. For me, this is not shocking. This is not something that's out of my league. Okay. Now I just want to listen to the sound. Now, most likely, the tool that they are using would be like the like VO3. I would say. You can also use Google. You can also use Grok if you want pretty much something affordable. Grok is pretty affordable for videos because with their Super Grok $30 plan, you can generate as many videos as you like. But if you go to other more expensive options like Kling AI, Google VO3, Sora 2, the issue with that is that you will be able to generate cool videos, yes, but they are pretty much more expensive. Okay. But I mean, if you get 2.2 million videos, 2.2 million views, even if you spend like $200 on this video, it's still worth it because there are people that are spending way more than you. Think bigger. Think like Mr. Beast spending millions of dollars on his videos. Some people I know are spending 1,500, $2,000 on just recording one video, and their best hope is to just get their money back. Right? With AI, you cut that cost. Now, in these other types of videos, this one here, for example, let's take their most viral one, and this one is just going to be like a fictional, movie style stuff. All right, so you can just like generate like a sequel of Kong and his adventure in the woods or in the forest or whatever, and you can see right here that they're doing a pretty fantastic job of it, right? So this I can see why this has been successful, right? So here, these are most likely look like. By the way, this is not stolen from a movie, believe me. It's actually AI. All right. So they didn't steal anything. And so right now, for me, I think it's enough. We got enough data, and I can just go ahead and show you how to do this kind of stuff. So the first tool that we're going to get started with is Google Gemini. And the reason why is, let me give you an example. Here is an example picture that I created using Google Gemini of Messi and Neymar with their dragons. Here is an example of an image just to show you kind of like the power of Google Gemini, what it's capable of, and the reason why you must use it for this application. We're also going to try multiple other tools, so bear in mind with me. So here you can see another picture created by Gemini. All right, so you get the point. Gemini is quite powerful. All right, so let's get started. Now, first and foremost, I need to pretty much describe to Google Gemini what it is that I'm trying to do. So I'm going to say I am trying to create a story of a fight between a giant colossal python and King Kong. But I want a perfectly well done story, and I want you to script this out for me. All right, my story will be like 2 minutes. Now, by the way, I'm not gonna make like an 8 minute video because on this tutorial I can only make a limited. I just want to show you how it works. I don't want to go the length of making like a 20-minute video. I'm gonna reveal the sauce, right? My secret sauce, but I'm only gonna do it for like a 2 minute video, and it's up to you. You can go ahead and even make like a 30-minute video with it if you want to. Now, let me show you the difference when it comes to these tools. Now, preferably, what tools I use are Google Gemini, ChatGPT, and Grok. I do not use Claude, and I do not certainly use Perplexity. I certainly don't use those. All right, so I use Grok, I use ChatGPT, and Google Gemini. These are my go-tos. So what we're gonna do here, in order to give each one of them a fair shot, I'm gonna use the same prompts I use on each. So the one I used on Gemini, I'm gonna use it on ChatGPT, and I'm gonna also use it on Grok, so that I can see and pick the best response. I think Grok might do a better response, and the reason why is because Grok is actually pretty much has, green lights for everything. It doesn't really seem to say no to nothing. You can just use it, and that's why they've been using it to do some horrific stuff, which I don't really condone. But in some kind of way, for me, it has been, some it has been pretty much revolutionary for me. And as I said, I don't condone Grok's, malpractices that other people use it for, but I like the fact that I'm able to do, pretty much a lot. I'm able to be very creative and not limited. as opposed to with Gemini or ChatGPT. So here, as you can see, ChatGPT by far has done the best job, and yeah, I see why. It's ChatGPT, all right. Now here, next prompt is gonna be, so for each scene, I want you to write a prompt to describe an image for that scene, the starting frame. All right. The starting frame is an image that I will animate. And so when you write the prompts to describe each scene, ensure that the prompts describe an image, not a video. Describe it as an is, not as a happening thing. All right. It's an image is fixed. All right, so here I'm gonna copy the same exact prompt, launch it on Gemini, go to ChatGPT and put it there as well, and then come back to Grok and do it again. And you'll soon notice that each tool is completely different. Right. All right. So let's just retry. Okay. So here, as you can see, it's kind of all right. I'm gonna enable this thing just so that it stops harassing me. Actually, no. You know what? I don't want you to show me notifications. I see what they're trying to do. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to, start to send me notifications, and I don't like that. Now, by far, Grok didn't do a good job here, but I think that ChatGPT will do a better job, and I'll show you that you can generate images on multiple tools like Sora, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and even Leonardo. I have access to Leonardo AI, and inside of Leonardo, I can use multiple image generation tools in one place. Okay, so Leonardo is kind of like the equivalent of open art. So if you're not into open art, you can use Leonardo. To be honest, I find Leonardo to be better because it has been there since the beginning. Open art kind of like came afterwards. And it's kind of like the same platform. It allows you to use multiple AI tools in one place. But Leonardo is cheaper, and I think it's better for me. And it's convenient because I mastered this tool here. But you can generate images whatever you like, right? So you can generate your images across multiple platforms. Now here in the old version of Sora, you're able to generate images. The way you need to think about it: scripting first, prompt writing second, turning those prompts into images using a tool like Sora, Gemini, Grok, whatever tool of choice you want, and then turning those images into videos using video generation tools. When it comes to video generation tools, the ones that pop in my mind: Google VO3, Sora 2, Kling AI, Dance. What else? Dance. When it comes to Kling, there's multiple models, and these are actually the best. But there are some other ones that we can explore. Right. So here, for instance, I have Halio. You have what else? And I actually don't really use Halio. You have LTX. You have, but to be honest, you don't really necessarily need to use any of those. So here, as you can see, ChatGPT is kind of like giving me 12 scenes. Now the problem with this is that this is not enough. Okay, 12 scenes is not enough. Now each scene, it's assuming that each scene is like 8 seconds. I'm gonna say you have to redo the script. Each scene must be only 5 seconds. So for 2 minutes, you're going to need to write like 5 and 10, so 12 scenes per minute. So 12 prompts per minute to describe each scene as an image. And also, you need to guarantee consistency of environment and consistency of characters and descriptions. Do not be lazy. Do not be lazy. Describe the image down to the last detail every single time, even if it means doing the same thing over and over. Just do it boringly, but make sure to be precise not lazy. Take as much time as needed. Doesn't matter how much, as long as you get the job perfectly done. I can wait. Now, I'm going to actually use the same prompt in Gemini, but first let's just launch this on ChatGPT. Now, I'm going to outrule Grok, but I'm certainly going to show you how you can use Grok to generate images as well. But I'm going to outrule Grok in that particular case. Now, about the Titanic, let's just finish with this one first, and then I'll show you how you can create like fake kind of like footage of, for example, exploring the Titanic or exploring instead of the Titanic what we'll do is exploring like an ancient city that was buried in the ground is called Atlantis. All right, so we'll make it seem like it's like Atlantis, but that's gonna take some time probably, but I'm all for it. Now here, this is Gemini's version. Gemini seems to be doing a fine job. Now it's only down to Gemini and ChatGPT. You can see that it took some time here because I told it so, right? Or I told it as much because I just don't want it to give me the wrong answer or the wrong response. All right, so it seems like ChatGPT is doing its work. So I'm going to test this right now. So first and foremost, I should like to copy this particular image, and I'm going to put multiple AI tools to the test, starting with Grok. All right, so I want to show you how you can use Grok's own image generator or own image creator. It's really good. It's actually pretty cool. So if you want to use it, go to grok.com and click on the Imagine button. And right here, you have to select what you want to generate. Now, we don't want to generate a video. We want to generate an image, okay? Now, when you select an image, make sure you select the exact size that you want your image to be in. And 16 by 9 is, so I'm going to go with it, right? I'm going to click on the 16 by 9 and I'm going to paste the prompt. In the meantime, while Grok is working, I can open a new Gemini tab, all right? And on this new Gemini tab, you guessed it, I'm going to generate an image using Gemini's own nano. So if I click on create an image here, I can just paste the prompt. But since I don't have a select to select the image size, I'm going to the cool thing is that it already mentioned the size here, so I don't need to mention it. But with Gemini, the twist is you have to mention the exact image size. Otherwise, it might generate an image in the size that it desires, and it might not be the size that you want. So just put that in mind. Now, Sora can also generate images. Unfortunately, these are the only aspect ratios you can pick from. 3 by 2 is the closest to a 16 by 9, so we'll go with that, and then we'll click on submit. Now, ChatGPT can also generate images as well. So just so you know, so if we go to ChatGPT, it uses DAL E3, which is pretty much the same thing that Sora uses, to be honest. But if you want to try in ChatGPT as well, just go ahead over here. Make sure that you click on the tools, and then here you have the option to create image. And here you can even choose a particular style for your image right here. And there's a lot of different styles out here that you can select from. But to be honest, I'll just leave it to ChatGPT to find a style based on my prompt, and I'm just going to submit. I don't like to limit myself to a particular style. Now, are there other tools? Yes, of course. If you go to Leonardo, for example, which gives you access to multiple Image and video generation tools. Inside of Leonardo, you can just switch to image generation by clicking on image right here on this particular you know right option right there, and then you have multiple image tools. Now the GPT image 1.5 is the same one that Sora uses. Nano Banana Pro is the same one that Gemini uses. So we don't want that. Lucid Dream and Sea Dream and all these other models are actually different models. Ideogram is actually a website. It's called ideogram.com, or actually .ai, ideogram.ai. Ideogram is like Midjourney. It's like another image generation tool. But here there's multiple models. There's Leonardo Phoenix, Leonardo's own AI image generator, which is amazing. But we're gonna put them all to the test. So now here, by the way, there's the auto model. If you select the auto model for image generation, it allows you to generate an image. And basically here I just need like two variations. I'm gonna pick a 16 by 9, and here you can pick the style, but to be honest, I'm not going to. I'm gonna leave it to dynamic, and I'm going to generate. It doesn't take that much tokens to generate images compared to videos, but you can switch between the models. Auto is basically Leonardo is going to go ahead and try to find the best model based off of all these models right here, and it's just gonna pick one, right, based off your prompt. And now I'm gonna start using different models. So different models, just basically switching from model to model and generating the images. So now I'm using Lucid version. Since we already used Sora and ChatGPT, GPT 1.5, we already have seen the results it can produce, or we're already going to see that. So we don't need to generate it here as well because it's just going to use GPT 1.5, which we've already used. Nano Banana, we already used it. Now let's use Sea Dream 4.0. I'm pretty sure that probably Sea Dream is like a Chinese version of ChatGPT or Sora image generation. Probably, I'm not sure, but it could also be like Leonardo's own creation. Now here, Lucid Dream, and then we have Flux 2 Pro. I don't really like this one, but as I said, I'm gonna put all of them to the test. Ideogram is kind of good as well. All right, it's a competitor to Midjourney for those that want to know what Ideogram is. Though Midjourney is slightly better, I would say. But Ideogram is kind of like a fantastic tool that I've used for a pretty long time. Now here we have Flux Context Max, so we don't need to use Flux 1 Context or Flux 01 Context, the normal version. I'm just going to use the Max version. Now Flux Dev, let's use this one as well and see what it does. And then here we have Flux Schnell, right? So I'm just gonna like give you an idea about how each one works. Each model works differently, and you'll see the difference. There is a huge difference. To be honest, Google Gemini's Nano Banana and GPT 1.5 are the strongest models for image generation. Add to that Grok's own image generator is also pretty strong. Leonardo Phoenix is also strong, but it's strong for images that actually contain text, right? If you're seeking to generate like a Pinterest pin or like a YouTube thumbnail, like a design, I'd go for Leonardo Phoenix. But for cinematic images, I would go for, GPT 1.5, which is Sora, included in Sora's DAL-E and included in Chat GPT. Okay. So here we have basically tested all models. So now let's go back to Grok to see the image, even though I think you've already seen an example. So Grok's version is actually pretty fantastic, right? You can see it's highly realistic. It's pretty good, but there's not a lot of attention to detail. For example, you can see that we see the head of the snake, but it looks like it's coming out of the belly of the snake, right? So we don't really see clearly where the snake's head is coming from. The other ones, though, I like them. I like this one, for example, because it kind of, no, actually, this is the same one. Why do I keep going back to it? This one looks like the snake is kind of going in the direction of Kong, okay? To kind of fight him. By the way, with Grok, if you pick an image or if you select it, you're able to make a video out of it just by clicking. Or if you want to customize your video, you can type to customize your video. It will generate 5.8 seconds worth of video for you, which is close to 6 seconds. You cannot, pretty much, you cannot go ahead and, what's it called? You cannot add to that. So if you generate like a 5.8 seconds, you can't extend the video, right? Unlike with Midjourney and with pretty much with Kling AI inside of their tool, with also with Runway ML, but yeah, and also in labs.google with Google VO3. Unlike those, you cannot extend your videos. But if you want consistency and you want to extend your videos, you can use a more expensive option. All right, so now let's go to the Gemini version of things. You can see that Gemini is really awesome. As I have said, I said that, I clearly said that uh, Gemini and GPT 1.5, which is, again, let me repeat, it's inside of Sora as well as ChatGPT. Okay. Now, this is Gemini's version. Let's check ChatGPT's version. It sucks. Okay. It's not good. I'm not going to pick it because Kong looks more like a human than Kong. Let's check Sora's version. As you can see, it's pretty similar to ChatGPT's version. And the reason is because they're both using the same model. Okay. They're just using the same model. They're using GPT 1.5. So now we have overruled ChatGPT. We have overruled Grok. And we'll also overrule all the other options that we're going to go and test right now. So this one is using Lucid or Origin. By the way, it turned out pretty fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't carry so much detail, right? So Kong is very far away, looks small. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a good quality video if I use this as a basis. Now this one is pretty good. This is another this is pretty much Sea Dream. Not actually not Sea Dream. This is Lucid Origin. I just used it twice for some reason. This is Sea Dream. Looks like Sea Dream is pretty good, you know, but Kong looks like a dwarf Kong, right? Of course, I'm not trying to, say anything bad here, but he doesn't really look like Kong. Kong usually is taller, all right? This one is using Flux 2.0. This one is Lucid Realism. This one is Ideogram 3.0. It sucks. This one is Flux 1.0 Context. It also sucks. And this one also sucks really bad. It's by Flux Dev. Flux Schnell. It seems like the fluxes are all, bad. And, this one is by Phoenix 1.0. Okay. Now, one thing to mention: each image generation model has its strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so we cannot basically just judge them. Each one of them has its own strengths and weaknesses. All right, so I'm gonna put Leonardo in the back burner here, and let's move on. So right now that we have seen that Google Gemini does the best job of all, I'm actually gonna get rid of every other option. I'm only gonna keep Leonardo, and now let's concentrate on generating the images for each scene. So in order to achieve that, ChatGPT by far has written the best script for us. Gemini's script was not good. ChatGPT's script is the one I'm going to go with, and Gemini's Nano Banana is the one I'm going to use to generate images. Now, as long as you generate images in the same chat, you can guarantee consistency. All right. I know that in some lectures in the past, I've said that you should generate images with Nano Banana on a separate chat for each image, but not for this type of videos. For this type, it would be much better if you generate your images on the same chat. Okay. So let's get going. But first, open up Canva because that's where we're going to house all of our images. And since we're creating a normal video, you should go for a custom size of 16 by 9 inches. It's enough of a resolution. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this video that I'm going to create on my channel, but let's just create the video first anyways. All right, so here we go. So first and foremost, I'm gonna click and I'm just gonna copy this particular image. Now, usually images they have this nano banana or Gemini logo, which I'm gonna get rid of using Canva's Magic Eraser. But here, just usually I make the image bigger, and I also would like to upscale this particular image. All right, so I'm gonna upscale it 8 times so that it becomes much better quality. You'll notice the difference in quality. Now that's the first prompt's result. Now this is going to be the second prompt. So I'm going to copy the prompt and I'm simply going to paste it right here, and I'm just going to generate. Now, because we have already generated the first image, now Nano Banana is going to be more geared and primed towards generating some consistent images. That's really one of the best things that I love about Nano Banana is its consistency. It's hyper consistent. Let's go back here to Canva for a second. All right, I can replace this image with the new quality. Now here, it seems like we didn't really get a new image. It's actually more of the same. It's just a close-up. Environment existing storm midnight. But in any case, I think I'll probably keep it because I mean, if it wants it like this, then it's kind of like just the first image, but it's just as a little zoom. I'm going to upscale the image like 8 times, and now let's move on to the third scene. Now the third scene is this one. I'm kind of like blind copy pasting this. I don't really even know what they're all about, but it would be helpful if ChatGPT kind of gave me a title of each image and what or each scene and what each scene is about. But then again, I didn't ask it for that. So if I asked it to provide me with kind of like a description for each image, it would have done so with certainty. Now, again, I'm gonna go back to Gemini here because I mean, usually Gemini doesn't take that much time to generate an image. But why is it that this snake has multiple heads? You know, let me try this, but on a different chat. I don't really think those images were kind of cool. I stayed on the same chat, but then again, it kind of backfired. So I'm going to try this on a new chat right here and see the difference. If there's a difference, then I'm just going to basically start generating each individual image on a separate chat instead of generating everything on the same chat because it could be a case of AI hallucination right here. No, I like the consistency. I think this is pretty consistent. All right, so this is good. I'm gonna replace. Improving the quality will take you a long way. It's a very important, crucial step. I wouldn't recommend putting any filters on the images. Take them as they come. Putting filters will only ruin them. Even though for some images, in some cases, I would put filters, but not in this one. You can see how improved the quality is right now. It's really incredible. Now in this scene, it looks like the python is ready to attack Kong. All right, 8 times upscale. All right, now let's go back to scene number 4. As far as scene number 4, I'm gonna generate it on a separate chat. I can generate unlimited images with my pro Google Gemini, or it's called Google One membership. All right, seems like the environment kind of changed a little bit. All right, and also the snake kind of looks a little bit different. Uh, but it's okay. I can take it. I'll probably just maybe try a different alternative. We have a lot more scenes to go. Yeah, actually, this one is significantly better than the other one. Let me take it. All right. If we were to try to animate this using Google VO3, it will cost you about $1.50 for every 4 seconds using VO3. So if you want to animate like each scene, each image like a 4 second scene, or if you want to go to 8 seconds, but let's say 4 seconds, so $1.50. So for 12, it's going to take us about $30. For 24, it's going to take you $30. So I wouldn't animate this using Google VO3. We would use cheaper alternatives, mainly Grok. Let's keep moving here. So now, actually, I found it more useful to move to a new chat every time. But what I found more peculiar is that we're kind of stuck in the same place. There's not much action going on. It's starting, but there's not a lot of action going on. Obviously, I think I know who the winner should be. You know, the winner is most likely has to be Kong. Now, this is a pretty cool image. Kong is like holding the snake, and even down to the animations, I'm generally not going to animate this on my own. You know, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to provide me prompts to animate each image. This one has already been upscaled, so now let me just go ahead and upscale this one. All right, which is next? Scene number 6. You can even make like a fight between Kong and the Indominus Rex if that's what you want to do. But know that there is true potential in this niche, and I've done more than enough to show you examples of it. And of course, if this is not your passion, this is not your passion. I mean, and that's why in this course we've went through a whole lot of different types of channels. We've went through a bunch of channels, right? It's not like just one channel in particular. We've went through a whole bunch. I don't really know about this scene, but it looks nice. Though I would much rather just put this in the back burner and then try to redo or rerun it, because I didn't like that they're standing on the edge. You can try using Grok as well, by the way. Grok does generate pretty good scenes as well if you want to use Grok, because that also makes it easier for you because you can just generate videos off of the images directly. And by the way, one thing here is if you want to, you can even generate videos directly using Grok without generating the image first, though I find that to be particularly Not very cool because it just ends up not giving you the best kind of video. I always like to generate my video based off of an image. I generate the image first and then I turn that into a video. Especially when it comes to this type of cinematic Hollywood style content. I mean, while Grok is cooking there, I'll come back right here. And I think we're starting to have fun right now because it seems like Kong is getting the best out of the anaconda, or at least that's what it seems. I'm pretty sure the anaconda is going to wrap around Kong and is going to suffocate him, most likely, in the minutes to come, you know, and he's going to have a rough time, but he's going to win in the end, just like he won against those T Rexes in the movie. But let's go back here to see how horrible this turned out. And I've told you so. Don't generate Grok to generate videos immediately. What you should do instead is generate an image first, like this. Then you can go ahead and generate a video. Image generation usually is a lot faster. And then once you get like the image, turning that into a video will give you a much better footage. Watch. It seems like it's taking way more time than usual to generate an image, which is why I'm gonna ditch it. I'm gonna come back over here because, as I said, and I was sure, I'm kind of predicting how ChatGPT is thinking because I've used it a lot. But it was kind of predictable. Usually Kong does have a bunch of difficulties in the beginning of the fight. He's like for 80% of all his fights, he's kind of getting beaten. But then in the end, he wins. That's kind of like how a champion is. But I mean, this is a much better version than that video we got. So now, if you turn this into like a video, it's gonna be much better. All right. Kind of like, let me take I don't know, maybe this one, and I could say like King Kong suffocates the giant um, anaconda, and you can add something like here, no music, just or nature sound effects. All right, so I'll just let it cook. This is a cool feature they added in the new Grok right now is that whenever you do a task, they'll keep it in the history here. You can always find it, and that's good because it wasn't the case in the past. Okay, dokie. So here we have some pretty decent images. Let me just copy this one because I didn't copy it. All right, so this improving quality necessary. I find it to be particularly necessary. All right, so let's edit this image. Image upscaler. 8x upscale. Okay, so now I can just get rid of this one. It kind of is not really good. And I think that my video with Grok has been generated. This is pretty good. Much better than that old weak video that we created. Looks more convincing to me. All right. And if you want, you can upscale this video at about HD quality by just simply clicking here, upscale your video. It doesn't seem to have taken it in because I think going back and forth with the first video. Let's upscale again. All right, so it doesn't want to upscale for some reason, but upscaling your video is going to make it HD. Now I can close Grok. I think I've shown you enough there. Let's replace this with the new quality, and let's keep moving. We have a bunch of other images we need to create. Again, I'm going to kind of move to a new chat right now. It's kind of slow the way this is going, but again, I asked it to be very very detailed. I cannot cry about my own commands. All right, it seems like here Kong is starting to kind of get pissed off, but I'm gonna redo because I don't like that the snake, the anaconda, almost like looks like it kind of shrinked in size. In the meantime, while Gemini is working on generating the image, I'm going to use the magic eraser to get rid of all this weird or all these logos, the Gemini logos, which I hate. All right, got rid of the first one. I'm gonna actually go and fast forward, so I'm gonna stop talking while I'm removing these. All right, slowly but surely. All right, so it's time to take this image. Try to keep it consistent there because I noticed that on that one, the the colossal anaconda size was actually looking smaller than usual. So I had to add the comment that it's gigantic so that it just make sure that it makes it look bigger. I like the fact that they're fighting on this cliff because neither of them is actually uh, pretty much has a weakness for cliffs. Because if you think about it, a snake can hang on even if it falls down from a mountain. It will not fall down straight unless it's thrown from the mountain. But if it can slide, it will. And also for Kong, because he's like a monkey, he's a gorilla. He can just grab anything and just he can guarantee that he won't fall right from the mountain. So it looks like a dangerous environment, but it's an environment that both of them can survive. Okay, that's what makes this fight incredible. It's not like with a dinosaur. If it was a dinosaur, then Kong could just throw the dinosaur off the cliff, and the dinosaur would have nothing to do about it. But for the snake, even if he throws him, the snake will just be very difficult to push off a cliff. Most definitely not even be pushed. All right, this I like this. So let's just keep moving here. Yes, these are repetitive tasks, but this is how you create a movie. This is how you create a movie of this sort. Now, it's actually very difficult here because it looks like it's squeezing him. All right, so we're basically right now around about 12 scenes. So I think that in order not to make this tutorial boring, I shall not go to the next part. So let's just do 12 scenes. And let's try to animate those and make those into like a video instead of. I know I promised like 2 minutes, but it's okay. I mean, just with this knowledge, you should be able to do wonders if you apply it the right way. Right, this is a different angle. Mm, 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 mm. Let's take this. I think in the meantime, I could generate something better. Right, gigantic Python. All right, so there's two left. There's not much of a change there, but I like that. All right, so let's just take this. I mean, usually this cliff is where Kong lives. He basically uses it's like his sofa. This is where he sits and just watches his kingdom. There's two more. I want to get into the action of creating the videos. There's a camera there for some reason. Why is it? All right, let me just do this again. So I mean, I probably think it's because when I said image and scene, and somehow, some way, it kind of this word it picked up on the word tripod. I don't think tripod was ever mentioned here in any kind of other prompt. I think I'm gonna have to edit this, but again, here it did a fine job. I don't need to remove that from there. But all right. After we get the images, I want to show you different ways on how you can transform these images into videos as well. I'm going to show you all the possible ways, including Sora 2. All right, so now here, um, let's just do this. Click edit image upscaler, back 8x, and now we have final scene from the first part, just the final scene of the first part, 50%. It's not the entirety of the short movie that we're trying to create, and you can see that it's actually not a very easy job, right? So these people that are making these 10-minute clips, that can actually take them like at least like 2 or 3 days if they want to do a good job of it. First, they have to create the images, then they have to think about how to animate the images, then they have to create multiple animations and pick the best animations So it's not really a easy job. And you can see here by their schedule. Here he released this video 6 days ago, and then you know, 5 days after that he released another one. So it took him about 5 days to create this. So it takes him about 3 to 4 days to five even to create his videos, which is normal. I mean, it's expected, but it's a very successful channel for a very for a channel that's new and fresh. Here it looks like Kong is tired and he's about to now he's actually about to do something really bad. You can see this spike. He's about to use that. Kong is crazy, he's very crafty. You can see that he's kind of thinking about using this tree because it's sharp. It's cut and sharp, and he's thinking about maybe just using that like as a weapon because there's no way for him other than grabbing the snake's head, and that is also difficult because the snake is not going to allow him to grab the head. And so he's just thinking about how can I just do some damage here. Kong, come on, Kong. That's his best feature is his intelligence. He's strong, but also has that human intelligence. He can rely on weapons. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick these prompts, all 12 of them, and I'm going to ask ChatGPT, now, can you help me animate the following scenes by writing very short prompts to help animate them? These prompts must be optimized for video generation models, and it must be, they must allow to generate a short animation of 5 seconds, but do not mention the seconds. Just simply, very shortly describe or write a prompt for each. And here I'm going to paste the scenes that I'm talking about. It's better to split because we have 24 scenes. When you split like the first 12, usually it's much better than just giving 24 scenes at the same time and asking it to provide you prompts for 24 scenes. Now, here, I don't think it got the point. So the thing is, I'm going to say, listen, I'm not asking you to write a prompt to generate an image. I'm asking for a very short prompt for each scene to allow me to animate each scene. All right, go. Now, again, it's actually still working on this, so I'm going to have to wait until it's done. And right now, I can just make sure that I have all my images ready because I'm going to need those images and I'm going to need to animate those images. All right, so just check the ChatGPT answer. Actually, I think I'm going to say, look, for a better animation, I will provide you with each scene, starting with scene number one, and you need to provide me a short prompt to animate it. This way, we can do a great job. And I'm gonna say, by the way, I am using Kling, so it generates 4 seconds clip per clip um, with sound. Okay, ready? And I'm just gonna let it think. In the meantime, I'm gonna have to come back here and just get rid of these little logos right here. All right, so I have all the scenes right now. I'm gonna say King Kong versus Colossal Anaconda, and I could just go ahead and click share, download, and I'll download all these scenes like this. Let me go back to ChatGPT to see if it understood. Okay, so it did understand, and now let's move to action. Since I'm going to be using Leonardo to generate a bunch of videos, and compared to Sora, it is much cheaper. We're going to test all of them, or all of the best models, right here and right now, so that you can see the difference between each. Okay, so now let me go ahead and extract all these images from this particular file. Right, extract all. Okay, so right now I can just generate images with generate my videos, but I'm going to take one scene in particular, and I'm going to take it as a, let's say, as an example. But first, I need to sort this by detail, sort them by name. Or actually, well, let's sort them out by date modified. I could click sort by name here as well. And let me just click on view, extra large icons. All right. So now I'm going to copy this image, paste here. Let's say this attached is scene one. Go. So eventually it's going to go and write prompt. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to Leonardo, and I'm going to start with Kling 2.6. Here in Kling 2.6, you need the starting frame, and actually we already have the starting frame, so that sounds nice. So I can just drag and drop it, or you can click to upload it, particularly directly from your whatever file you have stored that in. So once I put this there, I only need the prompt, and I think that the prompt is already ready. For real cinematic 16. Actually, I'm gonna say, please do not mention anything about tripods or or stuff. Just write the action. Think about it like this. You are describing an action. On this first scene, there's not much happening. It's a confrontation moment, and the snake is kind of snaky, and it's the beginning of the battle. The reason why I don't want it to mention anything about tripods and so on and so forth is because if it does mention that, there's a risk that we might end up getting like a giant tripod on the video, because any word makes any word is important in terms of the prompts. So here, for real, jungle, cliff confrontation, King Kong, holds its tense wide stance. All right, so I'm gonna take this. So this is my prompt. I'm going to copy it, and I'm gonna head straight to Leonardo and just paste it in. All right, so now I'm going to change the model. So the model that I'm going to use right now next is not going to be any model that doesn't give us audio and video. So I shall go here with Sora Pro. I only want 4 seconds, but as you can see, it takes a whole bunch of tokens. And besides, Sora 2 kind of is horrible at these types of scenes, so I'm not going to use it anyways. But I am going to use VO 3.1 on the other hand for a 4-second animation, 16 by 9. And actually, my bad, because with Kling, I didn't choose the exact size that I need, so I'm going to have to go back and select Kling 2.6 again. And I'm going to just let it generate. I could use Grok, but I don't like Grok. Now here, this is VO3, the fast version of it. I don't like that. We've already used VO 3.1, which is the most recent model. And most other models, they don't really have audio. So why should we even use them? Sora 2 does have audio, but I've tested it many times, and it's quite horrendous when it comes to the quality of its animations, especially for this type of animation. It's not good at all, right? So here, as you can see, these two models are working. I'm just going to make a quick comparison between VO 3.1 and Kling 2.6. I'm pretty sure they're going to be very close, super close. There's not going to be a huge difference between them. And I'm going to go with Kling at the end because I can generate like a 5-second clip, and I can even do a bunch of other things like extending the clip if I want to, and so on and so forth, which is very nice. Now, in the meantime, I could close Google Gemini. I could also close Canva just to kind of remove some stress. And yeah, it's kind of wait here. I'm just going to have to wait. All right, so this is Kling. Kling was faster. See, it's kind of nice. I like it. So I think it's cool. But let's just run a comparison between Kling and VO3. Right. By the way, I can show you an example of VO3's ultimate creativity by scrolling down. I have created like a video of myself next to Daemon's dragon, from the House of Dragon. The dragon is the. And this is actually VO 3.1. For some reason, it's really slow. It's a cool video. If only Leonardo was not slow as hell. I think I'm going to download this effects with AI right now, if you know what to do. Right. With my pet dragon. Now, what an awesome scene that is. I just took a picture of my face and with a couple of magic prompts. Pretty good. but I would say maybe only 30% more, or 30% superior than VO3. So there's not like a massive difference. Okay. Now, of course, this is a nice animation, but as I said, it's not a massive difference. But still, because I've used VO3 for this one, I'm going to download the VO3 one because I don't want to lose those credits. And here, this is Kling's version. Actually, Kling's version really also does look awesome, right? It's pretty good. The snake looks kind of like that snake from the Potter. What's his name? Is the serpent? It's a basilisk. Okay. So here now we're ready to move on. It would be better if you describe the animation you'd like to achieve to ChatGPT every time. So now here I'm going to say it's getting heated in the second scene, but no one attacked yet. It's just Kong roaring ferociously and the snake hissing and getting ready. All right, so now we have the second scene. Okay, so Kling 2.6 is the one I'm using, and I'm definitely going to be using a 16 by 9 inches. At the same time, I said and I promised that I'm going to show you how to animate using uh, pretty much Grok. So we're going to do it with Grok as well. But first, let me just put this image here, and then let me just open Grok just for one last moment. Just kind of show you that Grok can also do crazy animations. The only problem I have with Grok is sound. I just hope that they can do something in that department. Now, if you want to animate an image you already have, just have to drag and drop it into Grok like this, or you can click on the upload element or option and upload it directly. All right, in this case, I didn't go through the uploading directly. I just basically put my image, dragged and dropped it. And then next thing you know, you need like a prompt. And then you can paste your prompt here to customize your video, even though Grok is ultimately going to immediately start working on your video. So I'll show you the difference between a video that Grok generates on automatic and a video that Grok generates based on a custom prompt. Now let's let it work. It's already at 60+%. And here in terms of Kling 2.6, I'm going to remove the old prompt, add the new prompt, and hit generate. Now, cool thing if you're using Leonardo to use Kling, you can actually put a lot more tasks at the same time. So if you want, you can just go and get all these tasks running, and then you can just go and sleep for 5 minutes or drink a cup of tea or whatever. Come back, you'll find all your scenes have been rendered. You can download all of them after that and just put them together, stitch them together using CapCut, and then you'll have a pretty good scene on your hand. Now over here, this is Grok's version of things. It's not bad. It's actually pretty fantastic. All right. But as I said, there is kind of like that weird music in the back, which I hate. Now, you can also, again, as I said, use a custom prompt, which is what I did. So I've just hit send or submit. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and just do the rest of the scenes. We have this scene here. Now, in this scene, again, I'm going to say again, not much action, just the snake, the colossal anaconda hissing, and Kong is roaring and hitting his chest like he usually does to assert his dominance. All right, let's go back to Grok because usually Grok doesn't take that much time to generate videos. I feel like we need to check. All right, let's check this one. You can see it's good, but I don't really have control over the sound. I mean, that's definitely not how Kong is gonna sound. At the same time, here, if you notice, some water started coming out of his mouth like that, which is weird. But if you don't like a certain video, always redo, and that will give you a different alternative. Another thing is you can upscale your videos to an HD quality. But enough with that, right? So here we have this scene is already ready, and watch the difference. It's actually pretty cool, all right? So there is a difference. There is a significant difference. But if you want to do this cheaply, or you want to do it for cheap, then I highly recommend you can use Grok. So here, I'm just going to basically replace the second scene with the third scene, just as I do as usual. and I'm gonna paste this. You can make this into a trailer if you want to, like adding like a kind of a background music. I've seen a lot of people doing clickbait stuff, like making it look like it's a trailer for a movie, and they kind of add like music and those you know intro and an outro to kind of make it seem like it's actually the real a real trailer for the upcoming new movie. And I've even taught that in my courses, to be honest. This one is also that a technique, that kind of technique. Now here, I'm gonna drag and drop this image into ChatGPT, and I'm gonna ask it. So now in this moment, the snake is gonna attack. I'm gonna say the snake has the colossal anaconda has now launched his bite attack on Kong, but Kong stands strong and uh, actually resists the dangerous bites and holds the snake's head. Actually, the snake's head with a comma there, because if I say snakes, that means multiple snakes, and when you say multiple snakes, as I said again, um, grammar matters with these tools. When you say snakes, it might think that you want more than one snake to be present, and so it will probably generate like multiple snakes. And so here we have scene number 4. Let me just go ahead and add scene number 4 here. So in this scene, the snake is going to launch his awaited or long awaited attack on Konga. Let's just wait a second here. All right, let me just now paste the new prompt. All right, so we already have that new one. It's right here. As you can see, it's working. It's slow, but that's what you would expect, because a snake wouldn't attack you pretty quickly. And also, this is a fight between two colossal creatures. It's not going to happen right off the bat, because each creature knows that they're heading towards their death. So they're going to be very meticulous about it. It's kind of like a fight between two heavyweight champion boxers. Most likely, they're going to take their time, right, to pick their shots. They're going to most likely try to let the other guy make the first mistakes. You know. Now here, as you can see, this is a scene where Kong seems to like be struggling with the snake, right? So I'm gonna say Kong now has the colossal anaconda by the head, but it moves so much, and Kong has huge difficulty difficulty to pin it down. It's a tough fight. All right, so it's getting tougher for Mr. Kong. Let me just remove that prompt so I know I have removed it. And yeah, so that's this scene here. Let's drag and drop it. Just imagine the potential fights that you can make between Kong and different creatures with this. And I will recommend, don't make your scenes smaller. And also don't make the fight at the beginning. You could build up to it. You could build up to it. You could first kind of like show the snake somewhere on the island laying down huge and like big, and then you can show Kong on another area. You can show kind of like the snake terrorizing the island tribes people, running all and then people come and some kind of, let's say, like a little heroine or a hero goes to Kong and asks for his help, and then Kong has to come down from the mountain, has to go find the snake, and then ultimately he finds the snake at the last part of the video, and then they have their ultimate clash, and then the Kong destroys the snake. And that's how you can make your video into like an 8-minute video or more. Otherwise, there's no way on how you can make it that long, because, I mean, usually a fight, even in the movie, you can take the fight between Kong and a dinosaur. It wasn't more than 2 minutes, I guess, or 2 or 3 minutes. The fight between Kong and Godzilla, it wasn't more than 2 minutes. The fight between Kong and those creatures in Skull Island, he generally takes less than 1 minute to beat some of them. Like the big octopus, he just beat it in a couple of seconds. That skull crawler, I think he beat it in like a minute or less than a minute. So here, this is, you know, I like the I like the scene. So he grabbed it by the head. I really like this. It's pretty cool. Now the next scene is basically the one where Kong is struggling with the snake, struggling to pin it down. All right, so in this scene, we have Kong struggling with the snake. This is a pretty cool scene as well. I like the snake sounds as well. You can see that it's worth it to use Kling. Now, let's move to the next one. All right, so the next one is supposed to be one where the snake is kind of like going to have his big break. So here the snake is going to try to, and successfully is going to wrap around, right, Kong. So I'm going to say in this scene, or in the scene attached, the malicious colossal anaconda will successfully wrap around the body of Kong and will try to suffocate him, make it epic. Right. I like the fact that with Kling we don't get that weird or those weird sound effects or those weird music sounds that we get in Grok. We just get the raw. We get the raw sound. Right. This is an amazing. By the way, I'm going to post this on my channel. I don't care, even though if it's not going to get me views, but I'm going to post this video once I do it because I'm having some fun here. And the reason why they don't work on my channel is because for you guys, I have ruined my channel. Now, I'm not trying to, use you as a scapegoat, but I've ruined my channel because on this channel I post everything. Okay, so, and because I vowed that ever since the creation of these tutorials that I'm making and these courses, that I'm gonna need like a dummy channel to use for experiments. And that's the worst kind of channel to have because an experimental channel means that YouTube will never understand your channel and what it's about. Okay, and that's kind of like the bad part. So here I'm going to say Kong slowly Kong resists the snake and the anaconda, the colossal anaconda's attempt to suffocate him and partially breaks free. When I say partially breaks free, I mean partially breaks free because he's not going to break free or entirely break free. All right, now one scene there. Okay. Actually, uh, yep, that one is good. So now I got to change the image. Right, this is good, but I don't like the first bit of it because it looks like a magical anaconda. I think I'm going to cut part of it or part of that scene. I'm just going to keep the part where it looks like the anaconda is wrapping around Kong's body. Now it's time for this one. All right, let's just wait a second here. All right, generate. If you try Sora 2 as well, you will notice that Sora will most likely not generate the videos for you. And the reason is because Kong is a copyright material, so that's that. All right, so I think I'm gonna redo this scene because it's a pretty good scene, but I'm gonna redo it, and I'm gonna try to edit the prompt in a way to get the results because I don't know why the snake kind of vanished. All right. The colossal anaconda surges and wraps tight. Actually, not surges. I want to say wraps tight around Kong's torso. I want to say breaks free of Kong's grip and wraps around Kong's torso. All right. So this, I think, it will most likely get the best result. But I gotta remember the order of these scenes. Now we have another one. All right. So first of all, let me go and grab the scene in question. So in this scene, Kong is slowly but surely struggling. So I'm gonna say Kong is struggling. Uh, in this scene, the anaconda partially wrapped around Kong's waist is biting him viciously, and Kong is resisting and whining. I hope they don't make a case of animal cruelty against me or something. Now, this scene here, you can see is kind of battling. Not bad. No, I think we could do better. All right, let's just check this out. The anaconda clamps down viciously. Okay, now we're talking. The scenes are getting more and more interesting. And I'd like Kong to give a punch to the anaconda, and I'm gonna make him give a punch to the anaconda in the next one. Right. Let me just copy this prompt right here, paste it, and generate. All right, let me just go back here because this scene is the one that where the snake is supposed to break free. Yeah, I like this one. This one is actually, well, it still doesn't really look real, but at least the snake doesn't vanish. There's still a far more for the AI to go, to be honest. But in the very least, it's capable of doing. And then we have this, and now I think that we're okay in the order of scenes. So here at scene 9. And by the way, if you're thinking that people are going to misjudge you based on these glitches of AI, I think there's of course that odd part that people that will torment you for these glitches, but most people are going to enjoy it because this is something that people like to see these types of fights between Kong and these creatures. So I'm going to say Kong, now angry, punches the anaconda's face so hard, but it still persists and doesn't loosen up its grip or its hold off his waist, still kind of tormenting him. All right, now this one. Well, he kind of really brutally did this, but this is not what I expected. So clamps down viciously on Kong's side. Well, the anaconda. So here I'm gonna try to animate this myself. I'm gonna say the colossal anaconda viciously squeezes its grip on Kong, and it's biting Kong in the face while Kong is angry and whining from the attacks. Right, this scene is definitely horrendous. We're past the time to kind of show this, and besides, this is a giant anaconda, so it's not like Kong can easily squeeze or cut it, unless it's relaxed. He can do that when the snake is relaxed, but if the snake is resisting, it's impossible for anyone, even with Kong's kind of power, to be able to tear it up, because it's It's like it becomes very solid and impossible to kind of squeeze the muscles of it, or so you get the point. So we want to make it look like the only option that Kong will have is to just use this sharp, you know, thing here and just impale the snake. All right, so in this one, I think that I have a prompt. I'm gonna paste this, and I'm gonna say, look, please keep your prompts very short because we can only do limited animation of 4 seconds. Redo the last prompt. ChatGPT doesn't have a notion of time, so it doesn't really think that, oh, my prompt is so huge, I'm demanding so much animations that I don't think these animations can be done in 5 seconds. But it doesn't have that limit, so it thinks that in 5 seconds it'd be able to kind of achieve like a movie, movie. But that's not the case. There's only enough you can do in 5 seconds, right? So the prompts have to be short. Now this one, let's see. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I really do. At least he didn't kind of cut the snake in half with his hands. Now we have number 10. So at number 10 I will say Kong is struggling with the insidious anaconda that doesn't want to let go. Remember, keep your prompt very short. So we want to make it seem like the last resort for Kong is to resort to that option, seen as the snake just doesn't want to loosen its grip off of him. We have already downloaded this last scene, so I want to check if I downloaded my scenes. Yep, I did. Now we have this one. This is supposed to be the punch. I like it. I like it. It's not a punch, it's a smack, but I like it. The sound is good as well. It's kind of good. Like, come on, get. I want to. You just can't get rid of it. It's kind of it's bad. There's an anaconda kind of vicious. It just wouldn't budge unless you stab it with a knife. And if it's usually that's what experts do when they see that the anaconda just wouldn't budge. They just kind of have to do something. And one of the worst things you can do is to kind of try to calm it, to try to caress it or calm it, or try to. It just won't, because its instinct is programmed to just keep going tight and keep squeezing. That's the worst part about it. Even if it's drugged and it's unconscious, you can't get it out of you if it's already pretty much around you. The only way to do it is to make it feel like there's danger, and that it should just just leave you away because it's a mistake to keep you know wrapping tight around your waist or something. And as I said, they do it using knives or needles to kind of hurt it away from them. All right, this one is good. I like the camera angle changes. What I like most is that the snake, you know. So let's just download this one. I also like this one. The slap is crazy. Look at it. Look at it. Boom. Like he just this is like he's tired of this. Right. And now we're getting close. So basically here, I'm going to say Kong is tired, but still is defending against the tight anaconda, squeezing him. Write a short prompt for this crucial animation. Okay. Now this one here, and for the last one, I can go for 10 seconds. I can do a 10-second clip because I want to show him impaling the snake on the steak on this. It's not the steak, like as in the steakhouse. It's the steak. Okay, so that's the only solution that's left for him. Otherwise, he's gonna die. All right. All right. So yeah. Now let me just get rid of this. So it's the last effort for Kong to survive right now. Okay. Now we still, as I said, I have to show you kind of like how you can create those scenes that look like they've been recorded with a camera. And we'll try to capture that. And I'll show you how you can use some hacks. One of those hacks is by copying the competition style of images instead of trying to achieve the style by yourself. So I'll show you. Just bear with me, and you're in for a treat here. All right. So first, I need my prompt right here. Again, if I mean you're watching the course right now, so if you're making this type of video, if you make one, share it with us. And also before you make one, even you can just in the Q&A or in the message, you can message me and just explain your concept. You can just ask me if the concept is good. So just by very briefly describing your video concept, what are you trying to create? Is it a fight between Kong and another creature? What type of creature it is? And I can just give you some pointers and even maybe help you with the script, because it's very important to script this well. Otherwise, you just will not be able to do a great job. Now, the last part, as I said, I want it to be a 10-second clip, and I want to make it about Kong just finally has enough, and he just will impale the snake. Right. And here, as I said, I'm going to select the 10 seconds option. And now finally, going back for the last prompt, drag and dropping. And then I'm going to say, now this is the last scene. It's a 10-second special scene. Write a prompt that shows Kong finally getting super angry and impaling the snake with that sharp edge of the tree, ultimately killing it and finally breaking loose off the giant or the colossal anaconda's grip as the snake dies and Kong wins. All right. I just don't want it to give me some lectures here, because I mean there is a possibility it might start lecturing me about, oh, you can't say words like that. It's kind of brutal. I like the fact that Kong is kind of like has had enough. The sound is spot on. The scene is spot on. I like the battle scars of Kong, but I like the scene the most. Let's just revisit. Let's rewatch it with the sound. Listen, like boom. Let's review. As the snake was kind of being disrespectful, Kong was like, "Shut up, man." That's cool. I like it. And you can see they didn't really do any effect on the snake. It's such a huge creature. It didn't really um, just deal with the last blow. But this is the last scene. It's gonna take 1,400 tokens because it's like it's generating two scenes at the same time. But if you want a sequence of 10 seconds, a continuous 10-second sequence, then this is the best option. Now, over here in this particular file, I'd like to create a new file where I would just go and name it images. In this file, I'm going to put all these images that I have right here. Just going to put them inside of that file, and then I could just create another folder that I could name B-roll. And in the B-roll folder, I could basically just put the videos, right? Now, as you can see, it's still working on that video. It's going to take a while. But as for the B-roll, let me just go and just grab the all the videos I downloaded. Of course, pending that video that I'm still creating. And now I have seems like I have two VO3 versions. I think this one is about the dragon, or me and the dragon. But this is not the one I want, so I can just get rid of that. And now these are the scenes. We have 11 and missing one, so this is going to be 12 in the total. And I'll show you a trick on how you can organize them by date modified, which will make our job easier to stitch the scenes together inside of CapCut. Right. But first, before we go through the CapCut tutorial, I need to quickly show you how you can make like those types of videos or images, turning them into videos to make it seem like it's like a footage of some people exploring the whatever the lost city of Atlantis, or mermaid city or whatever, or an ancient city that ultimately was found in the middle of the ocean, or some kind of crazy stuff like that. This scene seems to be taking more time. I expect it to take double the time it takes to generate the regular 5-second clips. All right, so this is the last. They didn't show anything. I don't like this scene. All right, Kong kills the giant anaconda by um I'm gonna do a 5-second one on this by stabbing it, or by stabbing, not stabbing, but by grabbing its head and stabbing it against the big sharp wooden stake. Brutal scene. Let's see if Kling has the stomach to generate these types of scenes. All right, this one is not good at all. It's almost as if they're kind of trying to not they're trying to not do the brutal stuff, but it doesn't look that bad. I mean, if you think about it, it looks almost as if he kind of cut the head off the snake, and now the snake is just dead and getting dragged off the cliff. Wasted about 1,400 good tokens there. All right, let's just see if this one is going to work. Actually, this one is much better. All right, I'm going to download it and I'm going to try to find a way to extend this. Doesn't seem like I can, but let me try this. Let me try moving to the last frame. All right, I'm gonna move to the end. Let me see if I can copy. Yeah, I can copy the video frame. All right, I'm gonna copy this video frame right here. I'm gonna paste it here into ChatGPT, and then I'm gonna use this video frame. Click and open it on a new tab. Now that's a secret technique of mine, and I'm gonna go select frame. I'm gonna use this one right now as the last frame to just give it the finishing blow. Kong stabs the colossal anaconda with a huge, sharp wooden stake, and brutally kills it. All right. Seems like we still need one more scene to go. This one was like the beginning. I like the way Kong is kind of bullying the anaconda when he gets angry. He's like he's had enough. Kong can be pretty patient until he's not, or until the moment he's not. He can be an extremely patient, nice person, but then be aware when he gets angry. Let's check this out. This one is a bit different. Take it. I'll take it as a last scene. All right, download. That's it. Okay. Even though the like how it should look, but again, we didn't give it enough of a consistent image because in this image it can't see it can't see anything, and the snake looks more like like a fish. But in any case, I like this scene. All right, so now we have everything ready to create the video. Now, thinking about it, we will not have a we will not have like a tutorial on CapCut because you can just put all these scenes together in CapCut and export it as a project. But as for the Titanic style of footage, let me show you quickly how to do it. So here, for instance, we are on this channel that we're studying, and in order to be able to create similar footage to them, you have to take an example picture. So, for instance, right here, we have a bunch of videos, and you can right click, and when you click on copy something, you basically can copy an image. So, and that will copy a frame of the video depending on which frame you were at when you were watching that video. If you want, you can also copy the URL by opening in a new tab, cutting the URL, and then going to Google, searching for that URL. Or actually, instead of the URL, you can search for the video title, search using the video title. Since this is a famous video, so there should be more than enough images out there. So if you copy this title, if you go to Google and search this, then you'll find the video first, and then you can basically go and switch to image search. And right here, you can see that you'll have a bunch of images that you can use. So for instance, you could take this image, you can come here to Gemini, paste that image. You can go back, try to find another image like this, for example, and you can come back to Gemini, paste it right there in an effort to help it understand kind of like the image style, because once you program the tool to understand what image style you're trying to achieve, the rest is going to be easy. So you can just ask it to generate like the prompts or directly generate the image. So here, this is a pretty cool one. So I'm going to try to give it like 5 or 6 images, different variations. And, and by the way, these types, they work really well. This one will definitely work really well because, and you can use it for a very viral, a viral thumbnail as well. But this one is good. So I'm going to say, create images here. I'm going to say first, before creating images, I'm going to say based on the attached images, I want to create like, let's say 20 images in the same style as the ones attached, the same type of image, except for they should be prompts to help me craft footage of the long lost city of Atlantis. Based on this, write the 20 prompts. Now, there is a possibility it might load Nano Banana and start generating images, but that's okay. If it does generate an image, which I can tell it's going to do, it's okay. Even though it goes against my programming or it goes against my prompt, but I mean, you can't blame it because this tool is programmed that whenever it sees the word create image, it should create an image. And it usually will disregard everything that comes after that. Uh, but in this case, actually, it's pretty good that it didn't disregard my order. So it loaded Nano Banana, but then it basically did a pretty good job here. So as you can see, it's giving me some images, but or some prompts. I'm going to say, look, your prompts need to go into detail of what type of camera used, what type of camera angle, lighting, environment, it should describe the footage just like those images attached. I want to achieve the same style in 4K photo reel. All right, so I was gonna get it to do this. Did I put all my videos here? All right, so I have 13. That's fine. So if I organize them by date modified, I have all the videos organized by date modified right here. And now the only thing left to do is to basically just put them together. And I've shown you more than enough how you can put stuff together. So here, these are the next ones, right? ROV, the sunken citadel, ROV wide angle. All right, so let's copy this particular prompt. I'm gonna copy all of it, and then I'm gonna head to Gemini on a separate chat this time. And on a separate chat, I'm gonna make sure first that this is already done with its task. And now here, create images, and I'm gonna paste this, but I have some things to do. This needs to be removed. And also the first bit that says sunken citadel gate, it needs to be removed because that's just simply a title. And so I'm gonna add generate a 16 by 9 inches image using a camera lens, and I'm gonna hit the submit request. So right now it's basically gonna proceed. And again, as I said, it gave you 20 prompts. 20 prompts is sufficient to generate 20 images. 20 images can generate 5 seconds each. So that's going to be like about close to 100 seconds. So that's a minute and, a minute and 40 seconds. And so if you want more, you just need to generate more prompts, more images, just like these guys have done. So these guys are basically just doing a bunch of images, and then based off of these images, they're just generating the scenes based off of them. So for example, this is the first. So if you want to animate this, you can animate it using multiple tools. Like for instance here, you can animate this using Kling, using Grok, using whatever. Mainly just, the tools that we've been using throughout this tutorial to create this magnificent fight between Kong and this animal. And you can use that tactic that I've explained at the beginning, which is to upscale your images, remove that Gemini logo right there, which most likely these guys are already doing. So if I want to animate this using Kling, I would just say long lost city of Atlantis in the middle or in the deep ocean. And you could say footage of the long lost city of Atlantis. And Grok, trust me, with this type of footage, you can have incredible Grok images or incredible Grok videos, because Grok does well with realistic videos, real stuff. This looks very real. So in Grok, you'll have an excellent footage. So if I take the same prompts I used in Kling and I go back right here, I'll just paste and say, footage of the long lost city of Atlantis. I'll just let it cook. And in the meantime, if you want to, you can just go ahead and now you can do the second image. You can simply just paste the prompt right now. Just want to get rid of this part. And if you submit, since you've already created the first image, now Gemini already has an idea about what your goal is, the types of images you're creating. And now, I don't know if I should still mention the size of the image, but I think it's probably unnecessary since the first image was already a 16 by 9. Now over here, as you can see, this is the second one. You can see that that's exactly what these guys are using. So they're using Google Gemini to create these scenes. I like this camera right here. It looks like it's a real camera. Looks like people here trying to, probably they were worshiping something, or, the moment the catastrophe happens, assuming that Atlantis is a real city, which is Atlantis is not a real city. It's just imagined. As I said, kind of excellent with these types of videos. You can see that for 5 seconds, it did a tremendous job, 5.8 seconds to be precise. And if you want, you can upscale your video, as I said, to upscale in an HD quality. And all you need to do is to create multiple videos like this, stack them together in one big footage. And if I was you, I would do this using Grok. I wouldn't use Kling because I don't think that Kling does an excellent job. Now, one thing, if you don't want the music, you can add the comment no music, just sea sounds or deep sea sounds or sound effect. And then you can do another one. Now here, the next image is created. Let's do one. Let's do more. Let's do more actually. So here, ROV wide angle. This is the Lost Marketplace. The Lost Marketplace. All right. Let's click generate. I'll copy the Royal Palace one. All right, let's do this one. So as you can see, it's just a technique, and if you can turn it into a channel, right? That's an excellent type of channel to have. You know. All right, so this one here is generated. You can see that it looks really cool. You know, King Atlant. All right, and now let's generate this final one right here before checking the Grok video. You can see that this one right now is much better because it only has sound effects. There is no music. So again, as I said, this is good. So, and with Grok, you can generate unlimited videos if you have the Super Grok plan. Unlike with Kling, you need to pay a bunch of tokens. And you can see here that this is another example, the city of Atlantis. It's kind of cool, you know? So, yeah, let me see if I can find some more interesting ones like the Hall of Ancestors. And by the way, as I said, you can, as I said, you can just generate as many scenes as you want by simply saying, for example, you know, provide me 20 more prompts. All right. I missed to add the S at the end, but you can see it provided me with 20 more prompts, and right now it's going to provide us with 20 more prompts. Now it's kind of conflicting because I have two tabs open here. Not sure that's going to function well because you can't have two Geminis open at the same time. But let's check this out. You can see here, this is an example. It looks hyper real. And there's your 20 other prompts. So you can generate as many prompts as possible. University lecture hall, royal bathhouse. Just think about things that people might want to see some fake lost footage of and create them. And, you know, you can have success. Like this channel that is from the United States. You can tell that there are fans. You know, nobody would create all this much content if they were not fans of if they're not fans of this type of thing. So passion is really important because passion is going to keep you in the game. If you don't have passion about something, you're definitely not going to create videos for it for the long run. So my first lesson in the course was a very short lecture of 2 or 3 minutes, and in that lecture I emphasized that you just need to pick your passion. Pick something that you're ready to spend more time and to be very creative in that regard. Now, yeah, so that's it. I think that this is it for this tutorial. Wishing you this best as always, Passive Income Gen Z, and signing out.